Hey everyone, welcome in. This is Meadow Vale. I'm here to do a video to help share how to clear and protect your home, yourself, your space, your objects, your car, truly anything that you feel needs clearing and protecting. We're going to talk about different tools and methods that are available to you today that I enjoy using personally and share a little bit of the history of the clearing and what that looks like and how it began. So we'll jump right in here. So for the history of sacred smoke clearing, the use of sacred smoke for clearing and purification is an ancient practice across multiple cultures and continents. So it is the burning of specific plants, herbs, and resins to create a purifying smoke believed to clear negative energies. So there are a variety of ancient origins tied to this. There's a lot of different cultures and continents that have been using these methods for many, thousands of years, truly. So some of the ancient origins are from the indigenous cultures of the Americas, ancient Egypt, ancient European traditions also use sacred smoke, and indigenous Australian communities also use sacred smoke as well. So how folks were using this in the past and nowadays in the present is it's to purify individuals before events, cleansing homes and sacred areas and objects. It's also used before offering prayers and connecting with the spiritual realm. And then it's also used for healing and well-being as well. So some of the materials that are used for sacred smoke clearing. So some of the items that I'm going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about, and I'll show and demonstrate how to clear with sage, sweetgrass, palo santo, and copal resin and herbs. So I'm going to share those here. I actually have them available on our plate here that I'm going to talk about here in just a moment. And then we'll jump into other items that you can use to support you through the clearing process. So, one second, I'm just going to adjust real quick. Okay, perfect, now we're back. Okay, so for saging, so here is a white sage bundle. And what I do to clear with the sage bundle is I grab a lighter and then I start I actually think I'm gonna start smaller. Sometimes if the sage bundle is being a little bit harder to light, especially if you're outside in the wind, what I like to do is I'll use a smaller bit of fire on an incense stick first, and then kind of use that almost like a candle to light the palette, or to light the white sage bundle. If that's what is happening for us. And today we are definitely experiencing wind, so that is a reality that is happening today for us too. So no worries there. We'll just improvise and work through it, because that will definitely happen as we get through our other items. So we'll get this sage lit. And again, it can be a little bit harder to light. Same with the a few of the other materials, and I'll share with you kind of some items that I use to work around that too. Okay, so when I burn the sage, I like to hold the bundle up from the flame so that the flame can fully light. Here, I'll show you in the camera. So that the flame can fully light the bundle from the bottom. So I'll kind of tilt my sage bundle so it's kind of it's more up and down, and then burn it from that way rather than going horizontal with it, because for going up and down, the flame tends to reach the bundle easier. As you can see, we're definitely getting some really nice smoke coming here. So with the sage bundle, a good way to do a clearing that I always enjoy doing when I'm walking around is I'll walk through my whole house and I'll be sure to have my windows open so that the smoke and the energy can clear. So you can sage different objects, you can sage yourself, or you can just walk around your different rooms in your home. And I like to recommend opening closets even around your home and going into all areas of your house just to get that energy going. And again, having an open window really helps just kind of move that energy and that air around to help kind of get those energies going. So I'll kind of show how I'll use it to sage different objects. So if I have a gemstone that I'm trying to clear, I will just kind of run it over the smoke and just kind of have the intention to clear this item as I'm running it through the smoke, just to make sure that I'm kind of passing over it a few times. And again, there's no 100% right or wrong way to do this. It's mainly just kind of having the intention, having the smoke, and allowing the smoke to have a place to go to clear out of your home or your space. And then I do like to clear myself from head to toe. So I will run the smoke bundle kind of up and down, starting at my head down to my feet. And I do even clear the bottoms of my feet and the bottoms of my hands. That helps me just kind of make sure that the energy is fully cleared off of me. And this can be used, this is definitely a very pungent smell. So just to kind of forewarn that it will leave kind of a smell in your home for a while. But with the windows open, it kind of goes away for me after about 10 or so minutes. But that's just something I do like to share in case, you know, you're in a place where perhaps that smell may not be something that you're allowed to have in your home or your space. So just to be aware of that, it does have a very strong scent to it. Another material that I like to use to clear is sweetgrass, and this works very similarly to the Palo Santo, or sorry, not Palo Santo, the white sage bundle that I just showed. So I like to light the sweetgrass braid, and I just kind of, again, let the flame kind of, I'll hold it this way so that the flame can kind of go up it to catch fire to more pieces of the sweetgrass braid. And this one definitely has a little bit more subtle of an aroma to it. It's not as pungent, I would say, as the white sages, but it's just as powerful. And you know, scent is so personal. Everyone is so different on what they prefer, but you'll use it the same way. You'll run objects over it that you would like to clear, or run it over your, you know, from head to toe over your body, or just walk around in your home and go from room to room and clear the space. So if I want to clear this, I just make sure that I get it into the smoke, have the intention to clear my crystals, and that's really how you work and use this one, the sweetgrass braid. And when you're using this, I highly recommend using a fire safe plate or tray, very similar to like the tray that I have here. This is fire safe, and then I have a ceramic dish here as well that I can place it on. So just make sure that you have fire safe tools that you can rest the items on as you're walking around. Or if you feel comfortable and safe just kind of holding it, do know that it does kind of drop ashes too as you're going. So just be cognizant of that. Sometimes it can get on your carpeting if you're walking around. So that's why I highly recommend a dish or a bowl to catch the ashes as they fall if you're going to be saging inside of your home or using sacred smoke or the sweet grass within your home. So that is the sweetgrass tool. And that's what that looks like. And again, it's just as powerful and has just as much of a clearing and protecting properties as the white sage, but it's just not quite as pungent of a smell, and it tends to dissipate even faster from your home than the white sage does. So again, just something that you can try and you can determine if that will suit what you're looking to do. And then another item that I have down here to kind of show you is a Palo Santo stick. So this is what Palo Santo looks like, Palo Santo, and this is holy wood. So this is very much an item that has been used for many, many, many years, hundreds of years across cultures and continents too. So Palo Santo is also extremely purifying and cleansing and protecting. So I light it very similar to the other items I showed you, where I will light from the bottom and then kind of hold it up and down so that the flame can really kind of go up the wood a little bit to help hold the light. I will say for Palo Santo, this doesn't hold um, the light as long with the flames, so you have to kind of relight this one periodically. So how I like to use Palo Santo is I like to use it for just like quick clearings of myself. I don't necessarily use it as much to clear my home. If I feel like I have a space that just really needs a little extra TLC, I may light it in a specific room. But this one is much harder, I would say, to walk around the entire house and to keep it lit because it does burn out really fast. So this I would recommend Palo Santo more for if you're clearing objects such as your crystals and gems, or for my tarot readings, I use this tool very often to clear my cards in between readings. And it just really clears the energies out very quickly and strongly with my tarot cards. So this is very much a tool that I like to use very regularly with my tarot readings, and just to kind of do a really intense clearing of myself or objects. So I do like to share that as well. And then for our next item, so we have the next item I have is copal resin and herbs to share. So here's what a piece of copal resin looks like. And how this is typically burned is it's on a piece of coal. So again, you would need a fire-safe bowl. There are like metal, steel kind of bowls or cauldrons, or different ceramic materials that can handle the heat of a hot coal. And the coal has a disc to it, and it has like a little hole in the inside, and then you can place a resin on top of it, and then it just kind of melts, and then you get the sacred smoke from the copal on top of the charcoal. And then there's also other materials that I'll share that it it has herbs mixed in with it as well as resin, that you can place on the charcoal too, or you can just use herbs by themselves, dried herbs. So those are some other materials that I just want to share too. Or you can use an incense stick. And to be completely, transparent on how I personally like to use the tools, is I use incense sticks mostly to clear my space, because it does stay lit longer for me as I'm walking around. And again, I will have a fire safe bowl that will catch the ashes as I'm walking around with the incense sticks. But for me, it holds the light really well. I get a really nice kind of smoke, I guess, uh, volume is what I'm trying to say, a very large smoke volume as I'm walking around, and then I can just really see exactly where I'm clearing. And again, in a room, in a house, I would say it's really important to go room by room, and to walk all the corners of the room, and then even into the closets and different areas. So I just make sure that I go room by room, kind of do the square around the walls, have the windows open, and it just completely changes the energy of the space and just the feeling that I have in my home. So here's a little incense dish that I have that I really enjoy working with, and I have a few different other options that I use too, but this is one that I like to use, and it catches the ash here with the plate as I walk around, so that is really kind of helpful just to have kind of sitting there, or I'll make sure if it is um, dropping that dropping ashes that it's on a material that can handle it too, because the ashes are still a little bit hot, but not too bad. They won't do too much damage, and it usually washes out too. So I just like to share that. And then um, some other materials that I really like to share that can also be very protective and clearing, that you can use in your home is you can use plants. So I have a sample of some plants here that I've picked from my garden. So I have sprig of rosemary, I have mint, and I have holy basil, are three sprigs of plants. So this one's holy basil, or Tulsi basil, and then I have mint. I cut these a little while ago, so my mint is not looking as perky and fresh as it did when I first clipped it. And then I have a sprig of rosemary. So how I like to use live plants. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use live fresh plants. Just kind of having them around in like a jar around you is also very helpful as a reminder of kind of that protection and clearing. But also what I enjoy doing with especially the basil and the mint is I like to take the leaves off and then I kind of roll them in my hands and just kind of smell them and just connect with their energy. And when I kind of just connect with them in that way, it kind of, I don't know, I just feel like it really releases the essence of the plant. And then I'll keep it with me. So I'll kind of roll it the way that I showed you, kind of roll it around, have that piece kind of connected to me. I breathe it in. I just really feel it. And I close my eyes and just really breathe deep with it near my nose. And then I'll keep it on me for the day. So I'll keep it, I'll like tuck it into like a hair tie or inside my clothing. Sometimes you can even put it in like, between your waistband. I really like to keep it on my skin. So there's just different options that you can do that feels best for you. But that's how I like to use it and keep the plants close to me and keep that energy and that protection of the plants with me. So very similar, I'll do that with the same thing with the mint. I just pick the mint leaves and I'll kind of roll them, get the smell of the mint going, smell it in, just get really close with it, and then hold on to it in my clothing for the day or in my hair tie. Again, there's just a lot of different options. I even have, I know folks that use scarves and they'll even kind of tuck it into a scarf that they're wearing where it's against their skin. There's just so many different options as a way, or you bobby pin it into your hair if you're not wearing a hair tie. There's just so many different scenarios that you can use to keep those plants close to you. And there's definitely, I'm going to provide more links below on the types of plants that you can use. So I also, there's also dried herbs that you can use too. They don't have to be fresh. Like I have this bundle of dried rosebuds, and roses are very healing and protective too. I really connect strongly to roses. They have a very high vibration to them. So again, there's just a variety of plants, and I like to use this, it's a roller ball where it's fractionated coconut oil with rose essential oil mixed in with it. And I just roll it on throughout the day on my skin, and I keep it close to me that way too. So again, there's just a lot of different options you can use plants as. So you can have the dried herbs around, you can burn them, you can just have them near you, or you can hold them close in your clothing on you too. So those are just some ideas of how I use them. And I connect very much so to aromatherapy. So I actually have a spray that is a protection spray with a variety of different essential oils that are known to help with protection. So I like to spray myself a couple times just to get kind of that essence on me. So that's another way to clear yourself and your space if you're not able to actually burn incense. That's another option you can use too. Another option that I really enjoy using is sound. So for me, bells are very clearing as well. So if I'm not able to burn something and I'm in a space where I can just kind of jingle a bell, it just like immediately changes for me the feeling of the energy and kind of that frequency that's around me. So that's just something to kind of give a go. And you don't have to use as big of a bell as I'm kind of sharing here. I have mini bells that have like a very, very soft kind of chime to them. So if you're in a place where, people can't really hear you doing that, there's ways to just get a really soft one that you can just kind of hold up next to your ear and you can hear it. So that's something, if I'm out in public, I tend to like to use a little tiny mini bell. So again, I can just kind of hold it in my hand where it's discreet. People can't really see it. And then others can't really hear it too. So that's something that I enjoy using it with as well. And then I'm also very connected to crystals and gems. So I have a few examples of ones that I have that I use for protection. So this one is Golden Sheen Obsidian with this cute sun and moon pattern on them. Here, I'll hold that upright so you can see. So um, again, it's just the energy of the stone. This is really important to me. I like to sleep with this next to me um, with the obsidian. And then I also have an obsidian sphere, a small one that I'll keep in my purse even to help me with absorbing negative energies and to help clear my energy while I'm out. And I also have a tiger's eye. That's another gemstone that I like to use for protection and clearing as well. It has a really good energy that keeps me feeling safe wherever I'm going. So that's also an option. And I'll share more links below on different crystals and gemstones that are also very protective and clearing. Because again, this is not a full list of them. These are just a few, very, very few. I'm only scratching the surface here on the plants and the herbs and the sacred smoke options and aromatherapy. I mean, truly, I could go on for days and days about the different options available. I'm only showing you a very small example of items that I personally use, but there are many, many more options to choose from. And I will share some links to other videos and articles where you can learn more about that too. Another option that I enjoy using is I enjoy using water and salt. So I just have just a glass of regular tap water. It's not even, bottled water or anything fancy like that. It can just literally be tap water in a glass and just having it in a room with you. So I actually sleep with a glass of water next to me in my bed and I clear it every day. So every day I'll pour this water out. I actually like to give it back to the earth. So I'll give it to my grass or my plants and then do a fresh glass the next day so that it just kind of absorbs the energy of the room and of me. And just while I'm sleeping, it just makes me feel like it's helping balance the energies too. So that's really important. And salt. Salt is also so protective, healing, um, just neutralizing. I love taking salt baths. So this is an example of a pink Himalayan salt chunk that I have, but I highly recommend using a variety of salts. You don't have to use pink Himalayan sea salt if you don't want to. You can use kosher salt, you can use Epsom salts, you can use sea salt. There are so many different Celtic sea salt. There's just a variety of salts out there. Uh, but I find that this is just so helpful to have salt. I actually have salt lamps next to me in my room as well that I like to leave on to help purify the energy of my space. So that's another way that I use it, or just having a chunk that I hold on to kind of helps clear my energy too. And I feel more grounded. So that's just an option, again, something that you can hold on to or just have with you on the go. And then let's see here. And then there are so many other tools beyond this list that I've shared, but I also have Florida water that I use too sometimes, and I'll use Florida water more so when I'm doing tarot. So one second here, I'm just going to adjust the camera while I grab my Florida water. Give an example here. Okay, so for the Florida water, um, this is what I use. So this is the brand that I have and that I use, and I'll just use it in my hands. I'll just pour some in my hand and then just kind of rub it together, and then I'll even kind of put it on top of my head or just rub it around on my face. Just kind of brush my clothing with it. Just whatever it is I'm feeling I need to clear off of me. So I like to use this before I handle my tarot cards too, just to keep my energy kind of clear and cleansed in my hands as I'm touching the cards. That's something that I really enjoy practicing to help my energy feel clear and grounded and ready for the readings. So I do like to share that tool too. So I do have kind of some ideas and suggestions of when to clear yourself in your home. So I'll share kind of some items that I do and instances that I'll use, um, and how I clear my space in my home and when I do it and why. So some of those instances that I'll clear myself in my space is if I have visitors in my home. It's not to say that it's bad energy by any means. I am not saying that. It just helps keep the energy to you in your space. So I just always find it helpful for me with my energy just to clear after I have friends and family over even, and they have beautiful, wonderful energy, but again, it's my space and it needs to have my energy. So I need to clear out other people's energy out of my space. That's just how sensitive I am to it. But again, there's no right or wrong. You need to really connect with what feels right for you and how you energetically connect to people in your space too. So I'll do it after I have visitors in my house. I'll even clear after I go grocery shopping, or if I order something online and I get a new package or a new item in my home that came from a store. Again, that's different energy that just is something that doesn't work for me in my space, that I make sure that I'm clearing out. And then I also will clear my car. I'll go out periodically, maybe like once a week. I'll go out and kind of clear outside of my car and inside of my car. Again, just to clear those energies. Again, especially if I have someone else in my vehicle with me, or I just want to clear the energy and kind of reset it as I'm driving. I also clear my purse after I leave the house. I clear my shoes after I leave the house. And I clear myself, after I'm around like a big group of people. So especially at like the grocery store and there's just a lot of people around me, I do come home and I'll clear myself as well as my home and the groceries. Just kind of wave it over the new groceries that I got, or I'll put it away and then just kind of do a quick sweep of the incense smoke through like my refrigerator real quick too. So that's how I'll do it. And it's also important to set an intention as you're clearing. So what I personally like to say when I'm, clearing around my home is I like to say, I'll kind of walk around and I'll clear the object, or I'll clear, like I said, the refrigerator or the groceries or just the room in general, whatever it is I'm looking to clear, or myself. I will say that I am protected, I am safe, and I am loved. I am protected, I am safe, and I am loved. And I will just say that to myself. Sometimes I'll say it out loud or in my head, and I just repeat it constantly as I walk through the room or the house, or as I'm clearing myself. I just keep repeating that to myself or out loud. Either way, again, there's no right or wrong to this, whatever feels comfortable for you. And there are so many other mantras that you can say, and I will share a link to a video that has like some really good ideas of other mantras. But for me, that's really what I'm looking to achieve when I'm doing a clearing. I want to feel protected, I want to feel safe, and I want to remind myself that I'm loved. So that's why I use the phrase that I use. But again, use what fits for you. Um, let's see. So I will share those resources. And just to kind of wrap this video up, and I know this has been going for quite some time here. Oh, I wanted to share, so my pillows that are being shown kind of in the background here, other clearing and protective items that people use are symbols. So here are some examples of clearing symbols that have been used again across different cultures, different continents. We have the evil eye, the Hamza hand, we have a snake there, another evil eye, and then I have a lemon pillow kind of back there. Lemon is also very protective and cleansing. So I had a lemon pillow to share. It's kind of buried back there, but again, those are just some symbols, and even animals. Symbols of animals can be very healing and protective and cleansing. So you really just go with what fits for you and what feels the best and what really reminds you when you see it that you feel safe and protected and cleared in your space. So again, this is very personal, and what methods you choose to use, because it's going to be different for every person. So again, it's just, there's no just one way or right way or wrong way here. There's a variety of options that you can use to clear your space and yourself. So for me, that's just a big takeaway that I really wanted to leave this video on, is that it is very much a personal decision on how you want to do this, and that you don't have to run out and buy every tool and object and item that I shared today. These are just some items and some examples and some ideas to share, but you don't need all of this. You know, sometimes it's just a matter of asking for clearing and protection. It can be very powerful. You can ask the sun, you can ask the trees, you can ask the water. You don't necessarily need to have a spray or a smoke around. You know, you can ask whatever is around you to protect you too. So you have options, and also remember that you are also divinely protected, and you're more powerful than you realize with your own energy. And you don't always need a tool or an object or a spray or a water or a salt. You know, you are very powerful, and you are also very protected and divinely guided as well. So just remember that you also have a very strong power to your energy. But here are some helpful tools and ideas to support you along the way. Thank you so much for your time. It was so nice talking with you. Have a great rest of the day. Talk soon. Bye-bye.